This is a piece of content I edited for my client, and this one as well. Now, I'm not showing you these to flex. I'm showing you these because when I've sent this footage to my client, the response wasn't, oh, this looks amazing. The response was, I managed to sell my one-on-one coaching, or the views went up like crazy, or keep doing what you're doing because this is working. And that's when I realized something that completely changed my editing approach. Premium clients don't care if your edits look expensive. They care if your edits work. They don't care how many effects you put in or how complex the animation was. They care about whether that video achieved their business goals, or more watch time, or more engagement, or more conversions. And today I'm breaking down the 5 design principles that actually matter when you're working at this level. Principles that focus on results and not just aesthetics. Now here's the shift most editors actually never make. They think design is about making things look good. They are, but in a little bit different way. The design premium clients are willing to pay for is actually intentionally adding elements to be both visually appealing and functional at the same time. The best edits look great, yes, there's no denying it. But what's most important is, do they serve a purpose? Do they make the video easier to understand? Do they keep viewers engaged? And do they drive outcome clients need? When I was working on a content connected to Alex Hormozi's 100 Million Money Models book launch, they didn't say make it look cooler, because that is not the point. The point of the video is to make it as easy as possible to consume. And that's the difference right there. Functionality over appearance. So let me walk you through the 5 principles that actually matter. First principle is composition. How are elements arranged on the screen? Most editors think of composition as, does this look balanced? But at a higher level, composition is about cognitive load. It's about making an information as easy as possible for viewers to process. And here's what I mean by that. If you place text randomly all over the screen, the viewer's brain has to work harder to figure out where to look. And when their brain works harder, they disengage faster. But if you use guidelines, like placing elements centrally or using the rule of thirds, the viewer's brain instantly knows where to focus, and it feels natural and it feels effortless. And when content feels effortless to consume, the viewers naturally stay longer and retention goes up, and that's what client actually cares about. You have to think about it as placing every single element with intention. Don't think about it as you're about to win a design award. Think about it as you're optimizing for clarity and retention. Now that's a composition at a business level. It's not about looking good, it's about reducing friction so the viewer can stay longer. Now the second principle is sizing. How big or small are elements relative to one another? Now think about it like this, because this is a key. Size creates hierarchy. It tells viewer what's important and what's not important. Let's say you're editing a talking head video where somebody says, here are the 3 ways to make more money as an editor. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. If you make the heading and the 3 points the same size, the viewer's brain doesn't know what to prioritize. Everything feels equally important, which means nothing feels important. But if you make the heading much bigger than the points, you're guiding the viewer's attention. You're saying this is the main area and these are the details. And that's what matters, because at the end of the day, clients are paying you to make their message more clear. Now I'm looking at this from my own perspective because I'm working with clients who are trying to sell something through videos. And their videos have a specific outcome. Get people to book a call, to join a community, to buy a course. And if the viewer doesn't understand the message because the hierarchy wasn't there, they don't take action at all, which means the content didn't do its job. I want you to think about size as not being about aesthetics, and instead I want you to think about it as making the client's message land clearly. Now the third principle is spacing. How far are the objects and elements from each other? Now here's why this matters more than you think. Inconsistent spacing signals unprofessionalism. If your text is slightly misaligned or spacing is off, if elements don't line up properly, the viewer's brain would subconsciously pick that up. Now they might not consciously think this looks bad, but they can definitely feel it, and it affects how they perceive the creator. Now I had the opportunity to work with a client who had over 700,000 followers throughout social platforms, and for him spacing wasn't optional. It was about maintaining his personal brand credibility. So if the elements are supposed to be evenly spaced, make them evenly spaced. If the things are supposed to align them. It's a really small detail, but it's a difference between being an amateur and being a professional, and premium clients will not pay premium price for amateur work. Now the fourth principle is color, and here's where most editors get it wrong. They think about color as what looks cool instead of what serves the purpose. Color isn't just about aesthetics, it's functional. It creates emotion, it creates contrast, and when used correctly, it drives action. Now here's what I mean by that. If you're creating content where somebody's just achieved something, what color should you use there? Green color, because it signals success, progress, and momentum. Now if they just failed a challenge or lost a round, what color should you use then? Red, It signals danger, loss, or setback. Now you're probably sitting there and thinking, what is this dude talking about? This seems logical to do. But the thing is, I'm not seeing this being implemented as much as it needs to be. Because the context dictates color. And when your color choices matches the emotional tone of the content, it reinforces the message. But here's another layer to this. It's called contrast. If your background is super bright and your foreground elements are also super bright, there's no separation and everything will blend in together. And the viewer's brain has to process a lot to figure what to focus on. But if you create contrast, a bright background with brighter foreground elements, or a saturated object with desaturated background, you're guiding viewers' attention instantly. And when the attention is guided, the retention goes up, confusion goes down, and the client just might get the result they're paying for. So don't think about color as a decoration. Think about more of it as a direction. Now the fifth principle is intentionality, making sure every single element has a reason to exist. Here's where most editors go wrong. They add things because they look cool, not because they serve the message. Extra animations, unnecessary effects, text that doesn't add clarity, motion that distracts instead of direct. And when you're working with premium clients, they will notice this because they already have a strong idea of what content is working for them. And they can kind of notice if you're just adding something to fill the space. Every single element in your edit should answer a question. Does this help the viewer understand the message, or does it get in the way? When I'm working on a content for my clients, the best feedback I got was, I don't know what you did differently, but this one just feels cleaner, or better, or more professional. What I did was I cut everything that didn't need to be there. No extra flashes, no unnecessary graphics. I just added things that serve the message. Because here's the truth, premium clients aren't paying you to show off your skills. They're paying you to make their content work. And the fastest way to make content work is to remove everything that doesn't need to be there. Intentionality isn't about doing more. It's about doing only what matters. Now here's the reality. Clients aren't paying you to show off your skills to other editors. They're hiring you to serve their business goals. And that means every design choice needs to have a reason. Composition reduces friction so viewers stay engaged. Sizing guides attention so the message lands clearly. Spacing signals professionalism and builds trust. Color drives emotion and directs focus. Intentionality ensures every element serves the outcome. Now these aren't just design principles. These are business principles. When you stop trying to make things look cool and actually start making things that matter, everything changes. You stop being seen as just another video editor, and you start being someone who understands the outcomes. Now if you're thinking, how do I actually apply this for my clients? How do I talk about design to somebody who only cares about business and doesn't care about composition and color grades? Now that's exactly what I teach inside my free community, High Rise Academy. It's a free community where we teach you how to communicate your value, how to position yourself as someone who understands the outcomes, and how to structure your process so clients see you as a partner in their growth, not just someone who makes their videos look good. There are already over 200 editors and they're learning how to close high-ticket clients, applying these principles in real projects, and building relationships that turn into long-term retainers. Now the bottom line is your edits has to look good to some degree, yes, of course, but most importantly, they need to work. They need to serve your clients' business goals, they need to keep viewers engaged, and they need to make the message as clear as humanly possible. Now master these 5 principles: composition, sizing, spacing, color, intentionality, and you'll stop competing for aesthetics and start competing for results. And that's when premium clients start paying attention. Now I hope this video was helpful for you guys, and if you want your life just to be a little bit more easier, come and join High Rise Academy, link down below. It's completely free, and I'll catch you next video, guys. Bye bye.